Teon Gibbs, thanks for coming in, brother.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you
good.
so much, man. That was a lot of fun.
That was good. So you've been kind of on fire lately. You've been doing a ton. You just performed at Rogers Arena. You've been doing the festival circuit and scene. You just dropped a new single. What's been kind of going on in the world of Teon Gibbs?
You know, it's a lot of the same things, just like over time, like working. You know, like I really have the same schedule every week. I just wake up, I'm in the studio, I'm sending emails, trying to plan for more gigs. And eventually people just kind of discover who you are. And then they're like, yo, do you want to play, you know, at the Canucks game? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? And you're just like, yeah, I do. So, you know, it's taken me like 5 years to get to this point. And I don't know, I feel like sky's the limit right now. I'm on a bit of like a high.
You know, growing up, were there any kind of musical inspirations in your household or any people in your close circle that really inspired you to pursue this?
I feel like my first point of really experiencing music and like being like, yo, this person who looks and dresses like me is really dope is when I was stealing my brother's CDs. And that's back when they had like the pamphlet or whatever. You used to open that up and I was like, yo, man, yo, Lauryn Hill so cool, LL Cool J so cool, and all these '90s artists that my brother was into. I was like looking through the Doggy Style like pamphlet. I probably shouldn't have been seeing that at like 5 years old, but yeah, I was doing that, and then I started playing music in church. Yeah. Church is where I got it, so right. I try, like, even to this day, like, we love gospel chords. It's just a feeling that you get, so we try and fuse our music with that as much as we can. But we talk the devil's stuff on top of it. So. Whoops. Sorry, Mom.
You're doing a lot more than just performing. You're actually producing, you're promoting, you have your own label. Kind of want to talk a bit about that. And you've also, I've listened to some interviews with you as well, where you've talked about wanting to bring the whole scene with you as well. So tell me a bit about that.
Yeah. I started a company called 100 Collective. The reason was my roommate at the time, he's a videographer, shout out KB. And I was just talking to him and we're like, yo, it's so hard for artists, especially in BC, to make any kind of headway in the music industry. Large in part, the music industry is based off of American artists. If you're from Toronto, you get a little bit of love down south. But out west, there's maybe a handful of artists, let alone black artists, let alone artists who make hip hop or R&B out west who are making waves. So we just wanted to build a platform where we could, you know, promote and support the music, like the BC infrastructure. And then that just kind of led to it becoming a label. You know, we built a community, we got people involved. And like I said, there's no like black owned labels in BC who are focusing on hip hop and R&B. Which is kind of like, it's kind of odd. It's kind of crazy when you really think about it. It's inherently black music. So we're like, you know what? Like, that's the next step. We have a community. Let's support our community and take it one step further and see if we can connect them. So, you know, take some local kid from East Van who comes from a Filipino family, loves music, doesn't know how to do it. And 2 years later, you know, we're in Berlin playing a show in front of 5,000 people. That's the dream. You know, so I just always think that you get help by giving help. That's just how I was raised, and that's kind of like my methodology is just like, all right, well, the platform I got, like, how can I get people, accelerate them to this point faster than, you know, it shouldn't take you 5 years to be able to play a local street festival in Vancouver. It should take you a year. So if I can help someone do that, that's just what I want to do.
You've been putting on a lot of work recently, and you know your career is really starting to take off. But when did you kind of know that this was something that you wanted to pursue professionally?
Around the pandemic, honestly. I had just quit my job at the beginning of March, and then like 2 weeks later, they like said the pandemic was happening, and I was like, well, I mean, I guess we're gonna see what happens, and then surprisingly, I still had a lot of like virtual gigs just coming my way. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not even like looking for these gigs. They're coming to me. So that's when I kind of knew it was like feasible to like make a career out of it, I guess. I guess I've just always like romanticized music and creativity as like a lifestyle. So I've kind of always had that as like something I wanted to do, but I never really believed it was like a possibility. So yeah, around actually COVID was like the thing that like set me free, I guess, in a way. So
That's awesome to hear.
yeah.
And what advice would you have for somebody who's kind of considering chasing their musical aspirations and dreams?
I would say be very open to learning. As always, like you can never learn enough. Marketing is like the hardest thing. So surround yourself with people who can, just enable you and make you better at marketing. And yeah, just like always just have an attitude of like excellence. Just always want to be better. I feel like, and I'm a rapper, right? That's what I primarily do. I go to a lot of rap shows, and there's like an energy sometimes where it's great, but it's just like sometimes I'm like, yo, man, like you're just shouting into a microphone, and it's like, where's the showmanship? Like you can get better. And I think that's really like kind of what gave me a foot up on a lot of other like artists who make the same genre of music as me, is that I really cared about the live show. And I even create music thinking about the live show. So yeah, definitely like your bread and butter is your live music, man. So just care about it.
Yeah. Now on that note, you kind of blend contemporary hip hop with throwback R&B. Who were some of your musical influences growing up, and how do you see yourself kind of redefining the space of hip hop these days?
I feel like I always connected to really honest storytellers. I remember growing up and like hearing Tracy Chapman in the house, and like hearing the stories, and like it just bringing me like front and center to the whole narrative of like Fast Car, for example, or like Revolution. So people who are always I was able to connect with like lyrically is their story, whether that be like Lauryn Hill, whether that be Kanye West, whether that be Pharrell, whether that be the Clips, if you're talking about a completely like dark side of the spectrum of like life. That's really the people that I've really connected with, and I just love the feeling. I grew up on late 90s or early 2000s R&B. I love the feeling you get, and sometimes I feel like music today can be so microwaved, it can be so quick. But like when you have something that just gives you that really, that it's like I don't know, it's something about it. It just fills you up. It connects with you. I don't know. It's like it feels good. It feels right. So that like early 2000s sound is really just kind of like infused into my shit. So that's what I try to do.
Cool. And if you had one dream venue that you could play, I don't know if you've given this question much thought, but any dream venue that you could play in your career, what would it be?
Can I give two?
Yeah, please.
Okay. In Vancouver, it has always been my dream to play, and some people might think this is like not that crazy to do, but the Commodore Ballroom. Every time I've gone to a show at the Commodore, I'm like, yo, it sounds incredible here. And I saw Black there, I saw her there, I saw a lot of people when they were like at the point where they're about to explode, and I just feel like I saw the best show I could have ever seen, because it's like intimate, it sounds amazing, and like I connect with the artists before they're playing stadiums and arenas. So that's like a dream venue for me. And I guess like the huge dream would be like the O2. That'd be sweet. Yeah. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming in today.
I appreciate
that
you, man.
Great.
Thank you so much, yo. It's dope.